Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I make these cute little flower pots, little crochet flower bouquet in a pot. But they're not just cute little decoration, they're actually functional. They're two coasters with a holder. As for supplies, we're going to need 3 different colors of yarn. I'm working with white to make the base. Brown would also be cute because then it would be like brown, you know, like the dirt, the stem, and the flower. But I just kind of liked the clean look of the white, the stem, and the flower. And as usual, I can't tell you what kind or what size of yarn I'm working with because, well, I work with like free and thrifted yarn, and usually it doesn't even have any kind of label or anything. Like, as you can see, these are unlabeled. Just got them this way. I get scraps and bits. But you can see the thickness of them, if that helps you at all. I'm going to be working with a 4mm hook. I should really invest in a 3mm hook. Every project I see online, everybody's working with 3s, but I have a 2 and a 4. So 2? No way. So I work with the 4. I'm going to need some scissors, and then I have my, what's it called? A yarn needle. Okay, I'm starting with my white here. To begin, I'm going to do a magic circle. So I'm just wrapping twice around my fingers there, and I'm going to grab this. Coming in, I'm going to grab this back one and pull it through. Twist my yarn needle, my hook, and then I'm going to just kind of loosen that up a little bit because I'm going to grab this piece here and pull it through. Next, I'm going to do 12 half doubles into this middle circle here, and I'm going to keep this tail piece like with the circle. We're going to work it into the circle. Let me show you the half double. So we're going to grab our yarn, come through, hook the yarn. You have 3 little hooks on there. Come through all of them. That's 1. You're going to do 2. This is the 3rd one. We're going to hook, come through, hook again, pull it through, and then come through. 4. And then something I find that makes it a little bit easier is if I keep this sort of tight around my fingers so that like the circle doesn't get too big and loose. If I keep it a little bit tighter, it's just a little bit easier to control everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. 6. 10, 11, and 12. Stop here, but I'm keeping my hook in. I'm going to grab what's left of this little tail here and just bring my circle. I'm going to pull on this tail while holding here to bring that circle tight together. Get the tail out of the way. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the second little stitch here. So to do that, I'm going to stick my hook, where am I going? Straight through, hook, pull it through both. That's your magic circle. From here, this second row, we want to increase. We want to double the amount. So we have 12 here. I want to end with 24 in the next row. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to put 2 half doubles into every stitch. So we're doing one, and a second one in that exact same stitch. And then in the next little stitch here, we're going to do 2 half doubles. It's 1, and we're going to do a second one into that same spot. And we'll just keep doing that all the way around, putting 2 half doubles into every single stitch. Okay, I'm ending with 24. You can count them. So I'm skipping those first 2 chains that we did. And starting here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then I'm going to, again, skip those 2 chain links and go right into this first stitch to do a slip. Chain 2, and I'm going to do the same thing again. We want to do 2 half doubles into every single stitch to end with 12, 24, 48. To end with 48 in total. 47 and 48. And then I'm going to pull that kind of tight and just leave that here for 2 seconds. While I'm going to cut the white, and I'm bringing in the green, and I'm just going to magic knot onto these 2 together. That way I can continue working in the new green color. So I will show you here. I've got the white, and I'm going to just tie this all the way up here. I'm going to tie this in a simple little knot. This part, I don't know how to explain with words, so watch closely. I'm going to take my white, bring it underneath the green, back behind, and then pull it through. And I'm going to try to move this knot like over closest to this knot while tightening it, you know? And leave just a little bit of space between those 2. Honestly, I could have left even like half of that amount of space, would have been better. And I'm going to take here and grab the green and pull those tight. And then I'm going to just cut off my 2 little tails here, as close to that knot as possible. Like, the closer you can get, the better, because it's going to look more seamless. There you go. I know seeing this white yarn on this white background is not the best, but there you go. Now, to finish this little circle up here, I'm going to skip these first 2 chains that we did. Let me see what's going on here. 1, 2. And I'm going to slip into this first chain. Now we've got the base of the coaster complete. I'm going to do a round, one row. What are words? I'm going to do 1 row around using single crochet. I'm going to chain 1 and then start right in this this stitch, this very first stitch here. Let me go back and explain that a little bit better. I just did my chain 1. Now we're going to start the row of green. So I'm going to do single stitches here. So I'm going to come through my stitch, grab my yarn, pull it through. That's 1. We're going to do 1 single stitch into each stitch.
And then once I've created 1 row of green all the way around, I'm going to magic knot into the blue color.
I'm going to finish my circle of green by just stitching into that first one. Now we can work on the flowers. I'm going to chain 2, hook my yarn. I'm going to come right into this first stitch. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it up. Pull up as far as that 2 stitches, those 2 chains will allow you to. Repeat. 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. I'm doing that into that same exact stitch 5 times. So you end up with this. I'm going to hook my yarn and pull it all the way through everything. Chain 2. And come again right back into that same stitch we're still working in. Hook, pull it through both to finish off. That's one little flower. I'm going to single stitch into this next one and also into a second one, just to create a little bit of space in between the flowers. This third one I'm going to slip stitch into to create more space inside this stitch, because we're going to put another flower here. So I'm going to chain 2, hook, come through once, pull it up, 2, pull it up, 3, pull it up, 4, pull it up, 5, pull it up. Hook my yarn, come through all of those, chain 2, and then finish off in that same one. So we're going to single, single, slip, chain 2, hook through, hook, pull up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hook my yarn, pull it through all of those, chain 2, and connect down here. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to slip stitch into this like first flower that we made. Chop. And grab this little string and bring it through. And lastly, I'm just going to bring my little yarn needle in here because I need to sew these ends in. So just sort of like see which way it lays nicely. If I put it this way, it'll lay nice. And I'm just gonna like pick up half of this stitch. You see how like I'm not going all the way through because you don't want to see it from behind. And then I'm going to stop in the middle of one of the flowers. And then just move on to this for a minute. And I'm going to just work this one around right here. Okay, good enough. I'm going to pull this tight, like not super tight, just a little bit, because I want to cut it and not have any sticking out. You know what I mean? So you pull it just a touch, and then when you like straighten it back out, it's under, you know, the end is in there. And I'm going to do the same here, just pull slightly, clip, and then when you straighten her back out, you've got a coaster. Do all of that a second time so that we have a pair of coasters. Now we're going to work on this little part, the basket or flower pot, whatever you want to call it. We're going to magic circle. So I'm wrapping around 2 fingers twice. I'm going to grab that last piece. Back piece, I mean. Twist. Grab this. Bring it through. We're pretty much going to start off the same way that the circle for the coaster starts off. We're going to do 12 half doubles into this middle circle. And then I'm going to proceed the same way that I did on the other circle. For the second row, we're going to do 2 double crochets into every single stitch to do an increase. I've made a mistake here, actually. My original intention was to just delete that clip and go back. However, I think I'll keep it so I can kind of explain if you're not ending up with the right number once you come around. You don't necessarily have to redo the whole thing. Let me show you. I have 20 stitches so far, and as you could see, if I did 2 more, that would end up with 26, which is too many. So instead, I'm just going to do 1 in each of these. Or let's say that I was ending up short. I could do 3 in this one, 2 and 2. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of adjust a little bit as needed. If, like me, you apparently made it through 30-something years of life and still can't count. So I'm at 20. So I'm going to do 21. I'm going to do 22 in that next one. Like, I'm going to do, you know, 1 in the next one. And then in this last one, we can do 23 and 24. That way you still end up with the right amount. Then I want to just skip those 2 chain stitches and do a slip to complete my circle. Now I want to continue working around, but we're going to start building the walls upwards. To do that, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to single stitch into each of these stitches. However, I'm only going to pick up, you see how there are 2, like each stitch contains 2 strings? I'm only going to pick up the front one on each stitch as I go around doing my single stitches. We already did my chain 1. I'm going to, oh, no. See, I tell you, I keep trying to just pick that up out of habit. I'm going to go through the top loop and do a single. Top loop, do a single. Okay, I've single stitched all the way back around to where I started. I'm gonna slip into here to create that little circle, chain 1, and then continue around. I need 2 more rows of single, so that's going to be 3 rows in total of this single. For these next 2 rows though, it's going to be slightly different. Instead of only picking up 1 loop on each, we're going to pick up both. So just go through both like you normally would and single crochet, whoop, and just single crochet your way around back to where you started. Right, that's where we're looking like with the first 3 rows done. The 4th row is slightly different. We're going to do alternating increasing stitches. Let me explain. So we're going to chain 1. Into this first stitch, we're going to do 2 stitches. Into the next one, we're going to do 1. Then we'll do 2. Then we'll do 1. Then we'll do 2. And that'll end up bigger than this, but not double. You see what I'm saying? So we're still doing single stitches though. So 1 single stitch, 2nd single stitch into that first one. 1 there, 2 into the next one. 1 there. Whoop. That's the 1. And then we're going to do 2 into the next one. Okay, I've just reached the end of that 4th row. You can see how it's starting to widen a little bit. The 5th and final row, we go back to doing 1 single stitch in each stitch. So I'm going to chain 1 and then just work my way around doing 1 single stitch into each existing stitch.
And then after I finished that 5th row around, I sewed my tails in.
So I'm going to take my 2 little coasters. Oh, yeah, I cut those off. Okay, I'm going to take my 2 little coasters. See how they've kind of got like a puffed up side and a turned in side? I like the puffed up side to be the top, but when I'm going to fold them, I fold the 2. So the puffed up part is on the outside. Fold them in half. Then I'm going to take them and place them together like so. Wrap this one around the back. Wrap this one around the front. Okay, hold on, my basket's a little weird. Let me reconfigure. Would it be better? I feel like it'll be better if we turn this basket the other way around, actually. Yeah, because you kind of want it to like fold out like this on the edges. That's gonna work better. So we're gonna put my 2 little coasters together, stick them in the basket, and then you can just sort of like zhuzh it to like make it look like flowers. That's it. That's the tutorial. That's how I make them. You can obviously make them in different colors. Like this white is really cute with the little freckles in there. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!